So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's Family Day weekend, St. Valentine's weekend. We're back with our great author, Jim Shaw, at the Woodstock Podcast Central. Jim, good afternoon.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
What we're doing today, because we've done a few podcasts already, we like to say thank you to all the Secrets of the Dams fan and the fans also of the Gugway podcast that are trending as we speak, getting a lot of recognition. But we're going to talk a little bit about A Father's Legacy, the first in the Seven Son series. And we're talking, Jim and I, before we started this podcast, about how we front-loaded the book. Now, a lot of people may not know what front-loading is, but a lot of people you do. When you put a great amount of action in the first part of a series, a la Star Wars and movies of this ilk.
Battlestar Galactica was one.
Battlestar Galactica was one. And it draws the interest right away, and then you backtrack and rebuild the tension. Now, in the first 40, 45 pages of Father's Legacy, if you have read it, thank you. But if you haven't, please do read. Amazon, Kindle, various online. Hard copy, Jim has some copies. It draws you in very quickly, and it tells a story about the legacy that our main protagonist has to face in order to keep his need of what he call celebration of who he is and his family is strong.
Right,
now,
there's a heritage that he has.
A heritage, it's what he call heritage effort. Now, Jim and I were talking about front loading. Could you tell for the people that don't know what front loading is, what in literary form, what is front loading?
Well, let's not the new Battlestar Galactica, but let's take the original 1970s Battlestar Galactica.
Richard Stack and all that stuff.
Okay, that movie was front loaded. The front loading means the most of the action, it just exploded with action. You know, the 7 colonies were absolutely destroyed, and then all of a sudden the story starts with them having to pick the pieces up and try to flee to this mythical place called Earth. And then of course they build a story around the getting away, and it ratcheted up a little bit towards the end when they were on the planet with the insects, where the Cylons were moving in, they were going to ambush them. But see, the majority of that was at the very beginning. And that's the same as the seventh son of the Seven Son series. I front loaded this book personally. I had questions about it because I wasn't used to doing it this way, but I needed to have a very important, ginormous action happen at the very beginning in order for you to be able to orient yourself with the characters and how they react to it, and then how they kind of scramble to put their pieces back together in order to move on with the story. So the story really wouldn't be a good story without the main action in the beginning. And I'm not going to tell you what the main action is, but it's pretty cool. And I did take the time to explain that in the book at the end with a dear letter, a dear reader letter, I should say.
Yeah.
And I promised I was going to ratchet it up really big in the second one, the Stone Empress, and I'm working on that now. And I can tell you that I really have ratcheted that one up. I mean, that's the twists and turns and the roller coaster type thing that you'd expect from a thriller, I guess.
Well, if you're dealing with science fiction writing, and Jim is the expert here, I'm a big fan of science fiction genre. But you look at aspect. The only thing I can compare with your book, Jim, is watching Days of Future Past, the X-Men. All the main action in the front, and
that's another
they're
one.
Repeating. This is not something new with the science fiction genre, but where it ties in, Jim and I have discussed about the graphic novelization of this series, about a movie version. Most movies now in the first 15 to 30 minutes are so front-loaded, that's like de rigueur, as we say. But the thing is, we're not going to talk down the audience and say, we're not doing this to draw you. We want to draw you in. We want to have you interested. Why would you be doing a science fiction movie that didn't have plot and movement of action and excitement, and you're getting the protagonists both evil and good, and making you care about them succeeding or not succeeding? Now, what I find is different, like Secrets of the Damned, like it's a typical gothic horror. But Jim, like I said, as a writer, when you front load for science fiction and you write for horror, what are the biggest benefits and the drawbacks of thinking a different mindset? Because, it's like fixing a car. You could be good at transmissions or head gaskets. It's a completely different mechanization to get it fixed. What is the easiest part of front loading, and what's the hardest part?
Well, the front loading presents right from the starter block. It presents to you the ginormous problem, or the, well, oftentimes also the motivation of all the characters. So you're immediately thrown into the action. There's no, I gotta read 10 more pages to see if something happens. It happens from the get-go. So you're already on the roller coaster before you even know it. It's like you start the roller coaster at the top of the hill, and then you start sliding down.
Nothing wrong with that. Some of the best roller coasters, they start at the top. Actually, there are a few in
and then that's easy. That's easier for me to establish that in your mind, so that I can continue building the character, and how the character plays off the main action that you just previously read, and his reactions. So you'll be able to juxtapose. Well, would I react that way? And then you can understand how they start plotting their way through the story, based on, based on where they're coming. It's like you're with the character and the lion is chasing him. You don't have to go through the jungle with them, and all of a sudden, bang, the lion's there. You know the lion's coming, and you're running with the character, saying, "Where the hell are we going? Oh, let's run faster! Run! Oh, all I gotta do is run faster than you." All of a sudden, you're in the story, right up to your eyeballs.
And that's what we hope with the readers of Father's Legacy and the Seven Sons series will get into. The fact is, there's an effort behind it, what Jim is doing, and it's also a tribute to our New Brunswick Independent Authors Association.
I love being a part of that.
But you got Joe Powers, different writers, Alan Hudson, different Terry Armstrong teaching, writing, different people. They can talk better on front loading. But here's the deal. Your author's got to love the subject, and what you get from Father's Legacy, Jim loves the subject, because it's something that it was motivated through the years to attempt something like this. But for a reader like me, I've read a lot of fiction, and the fact is, I like the front loading, but I like the Rod Serling style, where it's almost like dartboard shots on a dartboard until you have the total amount of points you need to win the game. But graphic novel for this, a 5-part, not a 5-part series, but like a 4 to 6-part series, or even a 128 pager. Front loading allows you to transfer this a little bit better to a graphic novel or a movie format, because bang, you're in. Because why would a director like our good friend John Mann, or he's not a director, but Bev Vincent is a great writer. Bev thinks like a director. He's a Stephen King editor. You want something that's going to draw the people right away. You don't want people to be bored. Science fiction involving the elements of Father's Legacy, we don't want you to be bored. You want to be into it right away. So this is sort of like a master class about front loading. But Jim, our second subject, we're going to talk about it quickly. You talked about, do you love to see this as a graphic novel?
Oh, this one for sure.
Okay.
Father's Legacy. Well, the whole series, actually.
Well, the whole series. But why do you think people are starting to love graphic novels more than they did in the past? Because I have my own answer, because more and more people are kind of expanding on the DC and Marvel universe in the graphic novel format. Why do you think graphic novels for books like this are very important as another way to promote their series?
You want my cynical answer?
Well, give the cynical answer, or why?
I'll give you the cynical answer first. Nobody reads, so you present them with pretty pictures. But also, I think it's because, along with the fact that nobody reads, our society, we don't cultivate the imagination like we used to. We're so used to movies, and I love movies. You sit down, it's all imagined in front of you, and you can immerse yourself into that whole world. Well, the graphic novel is the bridge between movie and book.
Print,
yeah, because it's giving you the visuals as well as the text. So I think it's a happy medium between the two.
Because you can love something in different ways. Like I love chocolate. Okay, I love cheap chocolate. I love medium price. I like my Lindt and whatever bigger value. But what you got to understand, and we're going to wrap up this podcast, we want to just tell everybody that if you have any ideas or suggestions to people listening to this, how to make the book into a graphic novel, please let us know. We're on Facebook, New Brunswick Independent Authors Association. I'm on Facebook under JJ Carrier. Crazy Imagination of Jim Shaw. He has his own site. We're looking for supporters of the plans for the Secrets of the Dam series and this series. And my God, if you got some cash to spend, we got a tax break for you. Because we work cheap.
Oh, I have to put in there. I haven't given up on the Secrets of the Damned, the Kirk becoming a movie at this point.
Well, we've talked to different people in the industry.
We've run into some roadblocks that are pretty substantial. Because we're in the middle of BF nowhere, it is difficult to get these things off the ground. Other people in New Brunswick have got them off the ground, and I would absolutely love to coordinate with you and network with you, because this story is definitely worth the telling.
But the thing is, anything that's created is worth the telling. Okay? When I posted the Brunswick Independent Authors Association, I post a lot of things that writers would want to get mental or verbal discussion about. Like, actually, Jim and I's kind of inside joke. He posted something the other day, which I found great, how much Justin Trudeau looks like Fidel Castro. That's not a political thought. It gets you thinking, what if you wrote a fictional movie that Justin Trudeau was Fidel Castro's son? Like, you write a kind of a semi-fictional book. That would be great. You have to think to be a writer. And if you're just thinking in one category, think about parody, think about constructive, think about breaking down something. For example, Jim knows this well, I'm a big graphic novel fan. Alex Ross taking on the DC Universe and Kingdom Come and Marvels completely changed the way we looked at graphic novels. The reason why people like Jim think of graphic novels, because it's been shown to work in every category possible. Marginal DC characters, Marvel characters, books about black history, books about gay history, books about female history. You can write a book about anything and make a graphic novel now because it's seen as a different version. Like when you say novelization now, you got movies, TV, graphic novels, novelization, and the novel itself or the book itself. It's wide, but like Jim said, people don't want to read. It's getting people to buy your stuff, and don't forget to buy Jim's product.
You know what?
Sales are good.
Here's ironic.
We're not begging, but, you know.
There's more strangers that read my books than friends. Now that blows my mind, because the friends know exactly who I am, what I'm like, but the strangers are the ones that actually will buy it and read it and then go, wow, holy lifting, this is awesome. And I think, well, that's cool. So I like to meet everyone that reads my novels, because I like to make everybody a friend, so that I can finally someday say that I have lots of friends that read my novels instead of strangers.
See, it's show friends and show business at the same time.
Yeah.
But I tell you something. Check out the Secrets of the Damned series on Amazon. You can get the print version, the audiobook on Father's Lego, where our good friend Miss Bowie is coming up.
Kira Bowie.
Yeah. Norm Academia did the audiobook for the Kirk. She's doing well with her big podcast with her big friend. Check her podcast out. Don't Tell Baba, which you know what that means, but don't tell Baba about anything. But tell Baba about this. So we're going to wrap up this podcast. We're going to be kind of podcasting more frequently. I'll tell you why. A little shout out to our good friend Eugene Culbert, who told Jim many years ago how to fix a computer. My Dell was working bad for 4 months. We're shutting down. Eugene told Jim years ago, take out your battery and it will work fine. And that's why we're back. So I'm glad to be doing.
So podcasts. It was Eugene that fixed his computer
Eugene, that's
too.
the plug. And not telling tales out of school. Eugene's woman left him for me, and we're both the winners in the situation because she's no longer around. That's a graphic novel in itself, by the way. That's a plug. 1985.
I might write that.
You should write it because nobody would believe it.
I emphasize Kira Bowie's name because we mispronounced it the last time, and I felt really bad. Kiri.
There's Bowie and Bowie. And
oh, now I can't remember.
All I know is she's very talented and she knows who she is. And you can spell it Keira Bowie.
Yes, it's Kira Bowie.
Yes.
I promised myself. I would say that correctly. Listen, out of respect.
Our combined ages are almost 110 now, so please have favor on us. By the way, one thing before we leave you go, the Brunswick Independent Authors Association. Thanks for your support. Don't forget the podcast. Anybody needs a podcast? I've been doing a few for the membership. What's coming up? Wendy Koenig's new book is out. The Phoenix book.
Oh, yes. I saw the cover, Wendy. That's
John Leo is going to be at the Myrtle Beach Film Festival coming up.
Oh, there's a couple of book signings coming up in Moncton.
Couple of book signings coming up in Moncton.
Not for me, but for other authors that are pretty awesome.
Some of our compatriots, especially Alan Hudson, Miramichi Reader, that's a little shout out. We love our friends, the Miramichi Reader. Not leader, of course. Right now we have 133 members, about 90 writers from throughout the province. A lot of tremendous stakeholders. A little shout out by North Shore Group, which has been very supportive. Mostly Eel River Crossing, Charlotte, Bathurst, Dalhousie, Gravel Hill region, and all that. So we're going to wrap it up. Jim, any last thoughts towards the whole aspect of front loading and the begging for what do you call people to enjoy more of your front loaded books?
I think anyone who gets this one will probably like it a lot, and it'll be, like I said, it's definitely an introduction to the series, and hopefully it'll whet your appetite and get you interested in the second one, which is going to blow the doors off your old jalopy car.
And just a reminder, if you are a writer listening to this, just like a shark, you must keep on swimming. If you're a writer, even just writing every day, I know it's a weird juxtaposition, but the Benny Coon character in Kids in Holly was an art craziness. He said he was painting every day. I know it's pretty weird, but I can say it. If you're a writer, if you don't write, you're not a writer. Just writing on Facebook and giving an opinion on certain things that inspire you. Talking about the rolling protests, Oka 2, as I'm calling it, locations across Canada right now. Our Aboriginal brothers and sisters against CN and the federal agencies that don't respect. We're into summer, we're into the winter of protests, but the summer is going to be really big. There's going to be tons of stories written. Put it this way, if you're a writer, read about Oka. Look what our friends that did the Blood Quantum. They were inspired by the Oka crisis, and Blood Quantum came out of it. You never know what your write's going to turn to big. Derek Hamilton, our actor in BC, a great scriptwriter, Rabbit, things like that. You never know if you continue to write where it's going to take you.
I think Derek should be in on writing a script for Secrets of the Damned. Wait, did I put you on the spot, Derek?
Well,
I'm a big fan, Derek. You know that. I think you're awesome.
Well, the thing is, where Derek and I come from, our family comes from in northern New Brunswick, and you see Bev Vincent and River Charlotte. You look at creators like Curtis Sullivan, our opera singer, Marshall Butler, Lucien. We're very talented in New Brunswick, especially in northern Brunswick. We're storytellers. But I basically believe that we had the cash. Too bad Habib Zagrapur couldn't have like 5 million spare, and went to Derek and said, "Give me three scripts. I want to do my special effects."
Well,
the problem is there. This is not Hollywood. This is not even Hollywood North. This is the backwoods of Carleton County.
Hollywood, the frozen North.
Hollywood, the frozen North.
No, but I'm serious. I want to liaison with anybody on the New Brunswick Independent Authors Association that has experience in the movie genre. I'd like to do something and keep it in New Brunswick. Why can't we do stuff in this fair province? We have all the talent, but people like Derek Hamilton have to go elsewhere in order to explore their talent.
Well,
that's just crazy.
By the way, we're going to have something on the Brunswick Independent Authors Association very soon about a movement within Derek's family in the entertainment genre. I don't want to give it away too much because you know he's talented family, his wife, his kids. It's coming up this week. Look for the podcast. Anyway, on this beautiful Family Day weekend, Jimmy.
Oh, see you later, and happy belated Valentine's Day, all you lovies.
In the words of the Jimmer who told me in the 80s, sometimes things happen and shit happens, and sometimes it happens both at the same time. Have a good day. Bye.